Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Palomini. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to build leaders in your organization. Now, when we talk about this topic, you could go two different ways. We could talk about building leaders in your organization internally if you have staff, or we could talk about building leaders externally if you have a sales team. But guess what? They both come together, right? Because if you're building an organization internally, they have to all be on the same page, meaning all of your employees that work with you have to be working towards the same thing. Because if you're building an external organization and your team is not on the same page, it'll mess you up outside too, I promise you this. So you got to get your internal right to get your external right. Now think about this. If you're going to build a sales force, your goal should be to focus on building leaders. Why do you want to build leaders? Because eventually, if you want an organization to grow so big, right, that you don't have to be the one doing every single thing all day long, your job as a leader, well, number one, your job is to become a leader. Let's stop there for a second. Your job is to become a leader. How do you become a leader? You take time and invest in you. Meaning you don't just show up one day and become a leader, right? You talk about John Maxwell has a phenomenal book called The 5 Levels of Leadership. And he talks about all these different levels and how to get to each one. And I love it going back and listening to it. You know, he talks about level 1 being a positional leader, meaning you're the boss. And that's the only reason why people listen to you. See, that's not a sustainable leadership role. If people just show up because they want their paycheck and they leave, that's not a sustainable leadership role, meaning your people will leave you the minute they get a dollar raise somewhere else. See, that's not leadership. Leadership is having a vision of where you want your company to go and you leading by example. You know, I'm skipping here, but the third level of leadership that Maxwell talks about is the producing leader, meaning you are leading by example. You're the top producer in your organization. You say, listen, follow me. I got this. If you want to follow, let's go. If you don't, there's the door. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. So it's your job to lead by example, and your people have to want to follow you. That's leadership style number 1, right? And I think that's one of the most important parts of leadership is you being the producer, you being the person that somebody wants to follow. Because once you've established that, and they're going, you know what? There's something to this. I don't know what this he or she's got going on, but I want to be a part of it. And listen to me when I say this. Everybody wants to be a part of something special. I'm going to say that again because I think it's very important that you understand. I heard this when I was 19 years old, and it changed my life. Everybody, no matter if they're staff, salespeople, your mama, your dad, I don't care who it is, everybody wants to be a part of something special. So if you're trying to build this big organization, what is it that's special about you and your opportunity? Because if it's just another job that people show up to and there's really nothing too special about that, they're going to leave you. Let's just be real. Your salespeople will leave you. Your staff will leave you. But if you've got this vision and you're building something special and your people can feel it both internally and externally, something starts happening, man. I mean, something starts really kind of building internally that says, you know what, again, I don't know exactly where they're going, but I want to be close just in case they start taking off, right? Like, I don't want to miss the opportunity. And that starts internally, right? So if you want to talk about how to build a leader, you become one first. All right, now, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Courses, reading. John Maxwell's a phenomenal example of a leadership guru. I would definitely spend a lot of time. I have his entire book collection. And people always ask me, Ryan, when you become successful, what are some of your most prized possessions? And I think this is a great question to ask every leader. So like if you're going to interview somebody, like somebody at a very high level, I would ask them, what is your most prized possession? Now, if the materialistic things is something that, is their prized possession, I'm sorry, it's not really that impressive to me. Like if you ask me that question, my most prized possession is my library. And I think that is very important if you're trying to, number one, kind of figure out what kind of leadership style you want or what kind of leadership style you want to attract. I would ask these kind of questions, right? Because if I'm going to be mentored by somebody, or if I want to follow a leader, and I ask that question, they say my most prized possession is my Lamborghini. We have a problem. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not impressed by that. Meaning, you're not going to be the person, just because you bought a car doesn't mean that you're the kind of person that I want to follow. Now, if you say my library is my most prized possession, we got a lot in common, right? Why? Because it doesn't matter what you drive, it matters what you know that's going to get you to the next level, right? So invest in you, but be attracted to the kind of people you want. And also, listen, if you want to attract leaders are going to be attracted to you, meaning it's the law of magnetism, right? Meaning, you are going to attract the kind of person that you want. Now, the question that you have to ask, and I love sitting down, like when I'm coaching people, and they're saying, Ryan, I'm trying to build an organization, and I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to develop leaders, I'm trying to, hire more leaders. And I go, okay, so tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about what kind of people are you looking for? Like, what kind of qualities are you looking for? And they go, well, look, I want them to show up early and leave late. Like, I want them to be charismatic. I want them to be, leading by the front. And all these things that they describe. And I just stop and I listen. I'm taking notes. I'm going, okay. So let me ask you this question. You listed these 5 qualities in a leader that you're looking for, that you want on your team. Do you possess these qualities? Right? And they go, well, maybe a few. Okay, so stop for a second. If you're going to build an organization full of leaders and you have all these qualities you're looking for, but you possess 3 out of the 5 you told me, so we got a problem. Because you're not going to be able to attract the kind of person that you want if you haven't become that person yet, right? You got to get this. So now think about this for a second. All right, so law of magnetism, right? You're attracting who you are and what you want, but you have to first become that. Now, as you build an organization, excellent. Let's talk about sales for a second, a sales organization. When I was 19, I heard this, and somebody described the law of multiplication versus addition, meaning your organization can grow by multiplication versus addition. What do I mean? I mean, addition is you recruiting one by one by one by one. It doesn't have to just be the sales team. It could be recruiting internally in your staff one by one by one. Or what you should be focused on is saying, okay, look, I've got 10 people on my sales team. Who can I identify that's got it? Like that's ready for the next level. Maybe they don't see it yet. See, your job as a leader is to see things that other people don't. Meaning, like, you got to be able to see around corners. You got to be able to see qualities in people that they don't see in themselves, and you got to bring that out of them. That's a good leader, right? And you can say, listen, you don't see this yet, but man, you got it. And what I want to do is I want to help you develop. How can I help you become better? You see, that's a servant leader. Not, you need to do this because I said so. No. It's, you got it. I see you're working your ass off. How can I help you become better? You see, that's where people are going to want to follow you, because they go, he or she cares, right? Like, number one, if you want to develop leaders, care about your people. That's plain and simple. Like, that's step one. So, all right. So let's identify who are leaders that we're already working with. Maybe you don't have any, and you said, okay, well, we got to go recruit some more people. Maybe you got some people that are just kind of, mundane, kind of going through the system. It is what it is, and you're going to have that's part of a sales organization. But what I heard early on in my career is, if you want to have an organization that gets away from you, meaning you no longer have to be doing the day-to-day operations, you find 5 to 7 and help them find 5 to 7. Now think about just the law of 5 for a second, right? If you find 5 people that you can identify as leaders that say, I can help this person become more if they want it, and you help them find 5, look, that's 5 direct to you and 20 and 5, that's 20 below you, right? That's 25 leaders in your organization. You're done. Meaning you're a multi-millionaire at that point if you can build that type of organization. But it's not easy to, because, again, number one, you have to become the leader that people want to follow. Then once you become the leader, you have to learn how to motivate and push others to want to become a leader. Or if they don't want to become a leader, then you can't push somebody to do something they don't want to do. So again, part of becoming a leader and identifying it is knowing what motivates your team. Meaning, how many times have you actually sat down with your organization and said, what do you want? What are you trying to accomplish? You're here. What does the next level look like for you? What motivates you? See, when I was building an organization, I built an organization of 250 people in 4 years. And I did that because I was able to identify some leaders and go, what are you looking for? Meaning, like, how can I help you become better? And everybody's different. Staff, everybody's got different personalities. You got to manage personalities, right? You got to manage sensitivity. You got to manage all these kind of things. It's no different than a sales organization. A sales organization is just about all these different people, all these different organizations and personality types, and everybody wants something different. Look, the person motivated by money is not the same person that's motivated by feeling like you care about them, right? Not everybody's motivated by money. So your job as a leader is, when you identify people that you think can get to the next level, is really figuring out what their dreams, goals, desires are and helping them achieve those. See, this is not difficult. It takes time. But you have to become, I said it a million times, I'm going to say it again, you got to become a leader first. So as a sales team, identify them, help them grow, help move them to a higher position. Maybe they're motivated by money, and you can, okay, let's figure out what kind of money you need to make. How much do you need to make? What's your number? Everybody's got a number, right? I don't care when anybody says, no, everybody's got a number. So what is it? Is it 6 figures you want to get to? Is it 250,000? Is it $1 million? Okay, if that's the case, then as the leader of the organization, let me show you what it takes to get there. And by the way, if you have not achieved those results, don't try to tell someone how to make $1 million if you never made $1 million. Go, you know what? I'm on my journey too, but this person right here has done it. Let's go talk to them together. Meaning, it's okay for you to say, I'm not there yet, but I want to learn just like you do. So let's learn together. Let's grow together as an organization. So you don't have to be everything to everybody, and definitely don't fake it if you're not there, because they'll know pretty quickly, right? So find what motivates your people. Dive really deep. And I would even say have a weekly planning session with your people. If you've identified these 4, men or women as leaders in your organization, then spend time with them. Take them out to lunch. It's not just all about work. Get to know them personally. And that kind of goes against the grain where it's like, your staff don't get to know you, don't get to know your staff. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. You have to know your people. Because if you know your people and you know what motivates them, the sky's the limit. And it's amazing the type of relationships you get to build with people when you get to know who they are and what they're trying to strive for. I don't care if it's a sales team. I don't care if it's staff. It's all one and the same. Get to know your people. So listen. Become the leader people want to follow. We could talk about leadership for the next 12 hours straight. I promise you I'm going to drop a lot more content on leadership. But I want to just quickly talk today about just how to build a leadership organization. And it starts with you. Okay? Get to know your people. You become a leader. Invest in you. Get around people who are phenomenal leaders. Watch people who are great leaders. Learn from them. I remember early on in my career just really focusing on John Maxwell being like the guru in the leadership, and just not just listening to it, but internalizing it. And not just watching watching what he says, but watching how he speaks. Because there's a difference between when you start becoming a leader and people listen to you, but they're also watching you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it can't just be, let's go do $1 million in production. No. Show them, right? John Maxwell, what I love about him, and when he's on stage, he has a way of connecting with the entire audience. So if you want to become a great leader and you want to become a great speaker, learn how to connect with everybody. All right, listen, we got a lot more we're going to talk about in this. I appreciate every one of you watching this and spending a little bit of time with me today. Make sure if you like this to put a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of The Agent's Edge. Listen, if you've ever wanted to take your business to the next level, you want to write over $5 million a year in life insurance, assets under management, big whole life cases, click the link below to get access to Level Up Advisors Academy. Listen, this is a 24/7 on-demand platform for you to be able to learn and grow on how to take your business to the next level. I look forward to working with you in the future.